I've stated many times how the world is a stage, and the world is run by these Freemasons from behind the scenes. I've taken a look at George Bush as he speaks here, and a lot of people that don't understand what's taking place think George Bush is an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's stupid, and these people, they don't understand. They're the ones that are deceived and really stupid. He is merely playing with you. Just take a listen to what George Bush says here.
Free, and freedom is beautiful, and you know, it'll take time to restore chaos and order, but order out of chaos, but we will.
These people don't understand. He's mocking you. He's talking about order out of chaos, which is a Freemasonic motto. And 33 is all about the mockery of Christ, who of course was crucified at the age of 33. Don't understand what's taking place. You try to explain to them, and they don't grasp the whole picture. They think they're awake. They're only half awake. Now let's take a look here, talking about 33, and demonstrating how they're behind all the hoaxes and saps that are taking place to bring on the New World Order, as I showed with this image here. Just take a look at this infamous press conference with Robbie Parker. Many people have seen this, and I want to break this down. Before I even show it, notice the bricks, which is a representation of Freemasonry. Everything they do, there is a reason behind it.
As a result, they spoke and made a statement. So we'll see if Robbie Parker, I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone. So we'll listen.
Okay, we all seen this, of course, with Robbie Parker smiling and laughing before the press conference of his supposed dead daughter. One thing I want to mention, again, getting back to the 33 so people understand what's taking place. It's in Newtown, Connecticut, and his name is Robbie Parker. I'll show you the 33s hidden in plain sight. The name, Robbie, just so happens to be 33 in numerology. So you add up 3 and 3, and you get 6. So basically, Robbie Parker, Newtown, is 6, 6, and 6. And here you see him, supposedly after his daughter's funeral, with a big grin on his face. Just taking a look at Emily Parker, what do you see? These are the devil horns. We're all told this means I love you. These are really, in actuality, devil horns. Just like you see here in this image, a variation of the devil horns. As you are looking at Soto, you're not seeing what's behind her, what's in plain sight. More forms of mockery here. Of course, the coroner, they named him Carver. I'm not saying this is not his real name, but they implemented him just for the fact his surname is Carver. It's a joke. They're playing with the masses. They love a play on words. Of course, taking a look here at Anderson Cooper with the owl symbolism. Supposedly, I believe Grace was 6 years old and drew this or painted this owl. Give me a break. Now, getting back this image of these devil horns with Emily reminds me of Cassidy Stay, the same exact hand sign as Emily, and the connection where she supposedly lost her entire family and she was supposedly shot in the head by a 33-year-old Ronald Lee Haskell. And notice the orangish type hair. As I mentioned before, orange is the only color in numerology that is 33. Interesting enough, taking a look at this older photo of Ronald Lee Haskell, and he has blondish hair. Not the same hair color. What does this remind you of? Taking a look at James Holmes. I'll get into more about him, about James Holmes, later on with the Aurora shooting hoax. But this is right after the supposed incident. Take a look at his hair color. But after he is supposedly incarcerated, now he has the orange hair, and this is for 33. See how they work. See how the psychopaths, the Freemasons behind the scenes, run this world and love to mock with the number 33. Not always as obvious. He's wearing it, basically, 33 on his head. Just like I said with Haskell 33. And of course, they use the orange jumpsuits as well in prison. Now, one thing I want to get into with the Sandy Hook hoax is Gene Rosen in this song that was supposedly created by him, by this random guy. Supposedly not connected to anybody, but obviously someone gave him the lyrics. He's an insider hired to sing the song, and there's a lot of occult hidden in plain sight with the lyrics of the Gene Rosen song, and I'll show that, or I'll play that a little bit later. But first off, let's take a look at Gene Rosen, Creepy Gene, and I want to show some occult symbolism with this cat. This cat with the blackened right eye, like it's blinded in the right eye. Just another image here with Gene Rosen with this creepy cat in the blinded right eye. It all has to do with the Antichrist, where it states in Zechariah that the Antichrist, his right eye, shall be utterly darkened. So you'll understand what's taking place with these hoaxes and the news stories that we see on CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC. It's all about bringing on the Antichrist. And basically, the cat's a prop. Everything you see taking place here is telling a story, just like a movie. That's all our reality is in this matrix that we live in, that they have created. People believe truth as lies and lies as truth. Now, getting back to the one eye symbolism with the darkened eye or the blinded eye with this cat, it's just like all these puppets in the game, and they might not even know what it means. They're just puppets when they cover the right eye. And again, this is a symbol for the blinded in the right eye Antichrist. That's what it's all about. Taking a look here, going back in time, I've showed this before in previous videos, showing how Newtown, Connecticut, with the Church of Satan, the connection with San Francisco and Newtown, Connecticut. Now, as far as predictive programming when it comes to what happened in Sandy Hook and Newtown, taking a look at this movie poster, Newtown Killers. And like I stated, Newtown is 33. And what do you see here? There's one guy to the left with the one gun up, and this guy with the gun down. And this is a representation of the satanic Masonic goat god, Baphomet, as you see here. Now, getting back to Gene Rosen with the blinded in the right eye cat, which again represents the Antichrist. Take a look at the painting above. Let's get a closer look at that. It's one image here. As you can see, you have a white and a black child. It looks like they're almost dead with this rainbow symbolism on them. Now take a look here. What this reminds you of, the Denver International Airport. Basically an extension of this mural here. As you can see, I'll get some close-ups of it. Here's another image, another mural from the Denver International Airport. As you can see with this soldier here, piercing with the sword, the peace symbolism with the dove representing peace. You see these women mourning over dead children, it looks like. There's another image here with the leopard symbolism. It looks like more death taking place. You have the phoenix symbolism. You have a city in the back, and you see fire and flames. This is basically when the New World Order comes into play. This is what, of course, this represents here. Pretty creepy stuff. Also taking a look at this, the Denver International Airport, when it comes to Freemasonry, it states, get a closer look here, where it states New World Airport as a New World Order, and you can see where it says Martin and Zimmerman. I'm sure they use this as far as coming up with the names for that psyop with the Trayvon Martin case as well. Go back in time here with another hoax I covered in the past with the supposed Columbine shootings with Eric Harris here. They make him look, goofy and creepy, just like Adam Lanza, just like James Holmes. But like I stated many times, they connect all these hoaxes, all these types together. It's like a movie. It's to be continued. And they give you, again, hints throughout each psyop, each hoax, where Eric Harris states, basically in his diary, that they had plans to crash a plane into New York. One thing I find interesting, too, is they said they'll hide from the Americans. Seems like this script was written by someone more than likely in Europe. Who would say that? Where we can escape to an exotic place where Americans can't get us. Makes no sense. Obviously, our so-called reality is rigged. It's already pre-written. It's going to take place in the future, has already been written. Now, going back in time as well, when it comes to Colorado, another hoax again with the Aurora shooting, like I mentioned with James Holmes. Taking a look at the Illuminati card game, what do you see here? A representation. You see the lights in the sky from the spotlights, just like on the theater. And like I stated, all these hoaxes, all these types are connected. On the movie itself, with the supposed shooting, the Batman movie, it says Sandy Hook in the movie itself. This is how elaborate they are with their scripted rigged reality. Taking a look here at Obama back in 2008 in Denver, and you see the white horse symbolism above him.
If you wanna ride, go ride the white horse. White horse.
Point out here with the O.J. Simpson hoax, as I pointed out many times in the past. Again, these are all props for this hoax, this psyop. You have the white Bronco, which again represents the white horse symbolism from the Bible. Just taking a closer look, again, how all the hoaxes and psyops are connected. Just look at the license plate itself. It's Manhattan Ford. You got the 3 and 3 for 33. But you add the 3 and 3 and 5, you get 11. And you get DHY for die, so you get die 11, which reminds me of 9/11. Basically, the two towers are two giant 11s. Of course, with this 1997 Bart Simpson episode. Taking a look here at the Denver International Airport at the very top of the roof. What this symbolizes, taking a look, this other image here, these pretty creepy looking type of structures. And what does it remind you of, as I covered in the past, with the Corvette Museum hoax, with the supposed Corvettes going down a sinkhole here with these toy cars. How people believe these are real cars is beyond me. Just taking a look here, the symbol I'm talking about, where these cars came down, supposedly in the sinkhole, and look at the structure itself. Basically an exact duplicate of what you see in the Denver airport. Of course, different color. You see some transparency here. But basically one and the same. It's all about the occult. Here is an image in front of the Denver International Airport with this horse, with this Mustang, and here you see United Airlines in the planes. Now again, Colorado being a very occultic state. Take a look at the state symbol here, their seal. What do you see? The all-seeing eye of Lucifer. It says Neil Sin Newman. Take a look at what this means. Basically, nothing without providence, or nothing without the deity. So, basically, the eye of providence is a deity, and this is, of course, Lucifer. Some people call it the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus. Basically, when it comes to Freemasonry, it's more than one meaning. They have, just like when they have Nimrod, it's also known as Baal. There's always multiple meanings for one thing when it comes to Freemasonry. Now, as it comes to Gene Rosen, let's take a listen to the lyrics of this song. You're going to find some, again, hidden meaning going back to the song, which I played before in my previous channel. Just take a listen, and then later on I'll play the video in its entirety.
Gene Rosen, your heart's 110 feet tall, your house won't work.
You just heard him state his heart is 110 feet tall. I stated the lyrics for these songs are given to them by those behind the scenes. 110 stories. It's all about 9/11, with David Rockefeller in the towers being 110 stories. And that's all because David Rockefeller's name in numerology is 110. And again, showing how towers are 110 stories. And why they selected to do it on this date, 9/11. It's all about the Antichrist from Revelation 9:11, where the Antichrist is named as Apollyon or Apollo. Interesting enough, you have a tower here, you have a K, and that's another 11 right there as well. Now, more lyrics from the song I find pretty interesting. Let's take a listen.
And roses bloom and elm trees sway for what you did that fateful.
Roses bloom and elm trees sway. And Rosen is for like when Christ rose or rosen from the dead. And elm, the occult of elm, understand. Let's take a look at this image with JFK and the supposed assassination, which is nothing more than a hoax. It happened on Elm Street, just like the Nightmare on Elm Street, as I covered before. So you'll understand the connection when it comes to Elm and witchcraft, which has taken place, just like in Sandy Hook or Newtown, with the occult of Elm in the song. Now, taking a closer look at the occult of the elm tree itself, of course, pagans are all about tree worship, just like the holly tree, and that's how you get the name Hollywood. It's all about witchcraft, when witches' wands and magic wands were made from the holly tree. Taking a look here, the deity associated with Elm is Odin. Odin, of course, is all about Baal and Nimrod. They're all one and the same. Now, taking a look at the magical properties of the elm, where it states here how it's used for sharpening psychic powers, and also it states the wood of the elm was used for coffins in England, and you could find it in the graveyards in ancient Greece. So understand, just showing how everything connects together with all these hoaxes or psyops. Taking a look here again at Colorado with the so-called Batman shooting, and you have Joker Tsarnaev in Boston. Joker as in Joker Tsarnaev. So you understand what's taking place with the psychopaths behind the scenes. Joker is a psychopath, and they have this character named Joker as in Joker. Now, again, the connections, there are always connections. Take a listen to this local Colorado news station talking about Joker Tsarnaev being in prison in Supermax in Colorado. Before I even play that clip, let's take a look at Supermax in numerology. You get Supermax, you get 3 and 6. You get 3 6s for 666. Now, interesting enough, take a listen to what this newsman says about Supermax, basically calling it hell.
Has famously been called a cleaner version of hell, and it's where Johar Tsarnaev would go if the jury decided to spare his life.
In an exclusive interview, a former warden and a former inmate tell us death is easier than life at the federal Supermax. The IT's Warren Lemanchek traveled to Colorado for a closer look.
It is as isolated as the prisoners who call it home. The prison, called ADX Florence, is a tomb for the living.
To me, it's life after death.
Bob Hood was warden at this Supermax prison. He spoke exclusively to the I-Team in detail about a prisoner's sparse existence here, 2 hours south of Denver.
For Johar Tsarnaev, what's his life at ADX like?
Even if the behaviors are good, though, it's pretty much a 23-hour day in the cell, 1 hour outside. And even outside, it's not a walk in the park. It's a caged environment.
Inside the Supermax, Tsarnaev would join a notorious group, the Unabomber, Oklahoma City bomber Terry Nichols.
And every single one of these are part of hoaxes and psyops as well. And I'll play a clip demonstrating that after this.
And other Islamic terrorists, like 9/11 conspirator Zacarias Moussaoui, Ramzi Youssef, the mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center attack, and Richard Reed. But Hood says Tsarnaev would be no match for them, or the 400 other hardened criminals here. He'll always have to be in solitary.
He's young, he's probably not streetwise, and he's very susceptible to assault, I think, because the average inmate would like to hurt him. His life will always be in danger.
This is the most secretive prison in America. No one is allowed inside, and the only pictures we have are from federal lawsuits.
A prisoner lives in a cell the size of a bathroom. It has a shower and toilet, a concrete slab covered with a thin mattress. In the rare time outside, prisoners are kept in cages. One 15-minute phone call per month and a small black and white TV may seem like luxuries. But Hood says they're also tools, so the guards have something to take away.
It is as stark can be. It was not designed with humanity in mind.
The isolation, the solitary, day to day, you're trying to keep your basic humanity from slipping through your fingers.
Ray Luke Levasseur of Maine spent 5 years here after being convicted of bombing public buildings. He says the sensory deprivation can drive a man insane, and lawsuits show it has.
You just begin to degrade over time. You feel it.
And so, as Tsarnaev's lawyers fight to save his life, both the former inmate and the former warden agree he may wish they hadn't.
I think it's a false choice in the sense that I think they're both death penalties.
What is the worst possible punishment?
Their hearts will say, kill him. If they're really looking for revenge and know the system, they should be asking for life imprisonment at the Supermax.
The Federal Bureau of Prisons has the final say over where Johar Tsarnaev spends his days. People who've been here say the best hope an inmate has is to be sent somewhere else. Reporting in Florence, Colorado, Lauren Lemanchek, WBZ News.
Lauren Lemanchek, interesting enough with that name when it comes to 33, as I've shown before. Let's take a look at her name when it comes to numerology, with LL being 33 as well. So everything they do, even down to the reporters, is scripted. Unbelievable how the occult is always in plain sight and people can't see or understand what's taking place because they have no understanding of the occult. They don't teach that in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or university. This is something you must figure out for yourself. Sometimes the truth is very hard to swallow. Was Eric Rudolph. And just like with all the trials, all you're going to see is cartoon drawings. Because that's all you get with these psyops, these fake stories, are these drawings. Because there's no real trial taking place. Okay, just like with the case with Tsarnaev with the Boston bombing. There's no one really injured. No one really got hurt. So there's no real trial because it's all the psyop. And here again, Tsarnaev, cartoon trial for Boston, the Boston bombing. Now understand one simple thing. The defense attorney, Judy Clark, let me get a close-up of her. This is her. Now one thing to understand with Judy Clark, she's involved with all these hoax events, all these psyops. Let me, now Judy Clark, this supposed criminal defense attorney, just look at her track record. Understand, all these events are psyops hoaxes perpetrated on the public. From Susan Smith, she was a defense attorney for Susan Smith, the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, Buford Furrow, the Moussaoui trial, again Eric Rudolph, Jared Lee Loeffner, down in Arizona with the Gabby Giffords hoax shooting, and again, like I said, the Tsarnaev trial. Now with this clip with Gabby Giffords, you can clearly see this is nothing more than an act, and a very bad act, with her husband, the astronaut, another fraud, Mark Kelly.
Thank you for inviting me here today. This is an important conversation for our children, for our communities, for Democrats and Republicans. Speaking is difficult, but I need to say something important. Violence is a big problem. Too many children are dying. Too many children. We must do something. It will be hard.
And as you can clearly see, that was nothing more than a very bad job of acting. Basically an SNL skit passed off to the gullible masses as real. And here an image of this fraud astronaut Mark Kelly and Gabby Giffords together. Two frauds working together. And as I've demonstrated, you can clearly see how the government, the media, and the police all working together to deceive the masses, with every single one of these cases being nothing more than a psyop. People need to understand one simple thing. There are real events that take place in this world, but all we get are these fake events. It's just like when you watch divorce court. There are millions of real divorces that take place. but all you'll see on TV are fake ones, fabricated, made-for-TV dramatizations. And that's basically what you get with the media, with all these psyops, all these hoaxes that fit the government's agenda.
You should start to look for a bigger place with a wide front porch and some open space and a massive yard, 'cause your heart's too big for your house. Maybe somewhere else where it's less insane than that small New England country lane. You need way more room, 'cause your heart's too big for your house. Jean Rosen, roses bloom and elm trees sway for what you did that fateful day. Jean Rosen, your heart's 110 feet tall. Your house won't work, it's way too small. Those kids were sitting frozen there, cherubs in the chilly air. You picked them up and brought them into your house. 4 small girls and 2 young boys. You gave them juice and shared your toys, and you let them know they were safe and sound in your house. Jean Rosen, your goldfish pond is nice, it's true, but you deserve an ocean too. Jean Rosen, a mansion with 1,000,000 floors could maybe house a heart like yours. You gotta move, your heart won't fit. On second thought, there's probably not a house that holds the heart you've got. Jean Rosen, you made them feel